Welcome to the Mother-Daughter-ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Aungelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today. Hey, it's Miss Dawn. You wondering how you can support our show, Mother-Daughter-ish? We have Cash App, we have PayPal, and we do have Vimeo. Support our show so that we can reach out to more women. Our goal is to reach and build a community of 1 million women. Why don't you come on and help us do that?
This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, mothers and daughters. Today, I am bringing you an amazing woman, and she lives in my same state. So I'm going to give her a little extra kudos for that. Today, I'm bringing to you, mothers and daughters, Miss Estelle Porter, and she is a life coach. We know we love life coaches because they help us to get to our next levels. She has been working with individuals in life coaching with their self-esteem building for 18 plus years. So Estelle, we know since it's been 18 years, you definitely know what you are doing. She's also written many books. To date, 7 books. We're going to talk about a few of them today. They are up on Amazon. In the description box down below, when you look at the description box, we are going to put the links to all of her books. So if you want to go and click on any of the ones that you want to see, you can go right there. But Estelle Porter is my guest for today, and we are just going to talk about how we can build our self-esteem. We're going to talk about faith walking. We're going to talk about all types of things. And like I said, Estelle is from Southwest Houston. So I call her my neighbor because she is where I am, which we all say we're from Houston, even though we're out in the different areas that we are in. Good morning, Miss Estelle.
Good morning, Dawn. So glad to be here. And I want to say congratulations on making a year with this particular podcast.
I know.
I guess it's you two. Let me get it straight.
Yeah. You know, I've started saying, when people say about the show, I started calling it a pod show. And the reason I do that is because it's not just a podcast, because we do the visuals, but then also we're on so many streaming platforms, like over 100, that it's like we can be heard anywhere. I mean, I have people that listen to me in foreign countries on an MP3 player, and I'm like, we haven't used MP3 players in 10 years, but that's their modality of being able to listen. Yeah. But thank you for the congratulations, because it has truly been an amazing journey. It has been really fun. And it has gotten me to the place where I can meet great people like you.
Well, thank you so much. It's so nice to have met you.
Good. Well, tell me a little bit about the self-esteem building. For example, I would like to know, how did you get started with that specific, because that is a niche. And let's just talk about that part right there, because I feel like that is so important for people to have their self-esteem built, because that's what gets you to the face of people. That's what makes you bold enough to take the next action. How did you get to the point of saying, I really want to coach and consult and really help people with building their self-esteem?
Well, I think, as with most people, we start off because we have faced it ourselves.
Yeah.
And because I went through a period of low self-esteem, really based on what people said to me. And in particular, at that time, my husband said to me, I lost my self-esteem. Mm-hmm. And it didn't happen overnight. And most times we lose our self-esteem. It doesn't happen overnight. Right. It took a period of years. And then one day I woke up and I didn't like who I was.
Exactly.
I remember crying with the lights off in the house one night, just talking to God and saying, okay, what am I going to do about this? Mm-hmm. And so as a result of me learning how to overcome, I am able to help other people overcome, not because it's a pseudo, but it is an actual event that I went through. So I know what I'm talking about when I talk to someone else.
Absolutely. Now, when most people come to you, do they just outright say, well, I'm going through depression, I have a low self-esteem, or do you kind of discover that as you're getting to talk with them and you go, oh, I recognize that, been there, done that?
Well, you really can't say I'm talking to you about self-esteem because most people will not admit that I have a self-esteem issue.
Exactly.
And from that vantage point in coaching, we are just sharing. They began to talk, and there's some specific questions that I ask everybody that comes to me,
Right.
including and not limited to how much water do you drink a day.
Right. Right.
So, um, in the course of that, then I show them this information and say, well, have you thought about this? In
Mm-hmm.
a very gentle and kind way of leading them, not saying you need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are people that said, no, I don't want to deal with that. And I honor that because everybody has the right to make their own choices.
Exactly.
And those that say, oh, I never thought about it like that,
Right.
then yes, I
Open
help.
minds. Absolutely. Well, let me ask you this: when it comes to self-esteem and working with other people, you know how sometimes when we're talking with people and we're teaching people and we're coaching and we're consulting, we end up helping ourselves as well.
Absolutely.
Has there ever been a time where you were talking and consulting and coaching and you end up helping yourself? And if so, tell me about that time.
There have been a numerous occasions that that's happened.
Yeah.
I remember one, I didn't understand that abuse, and we use the term loosely, but it's very specific, that abuse is more than just physical.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
in most cases, verbal abuse
oh yeah.
is one of the most deadly forms of abuse that is being used. I guess today they
Stays
call
in
it
the mind.
gaslighting.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was talking with, actually was a teenager,
Mm,
and she was having a number of issues with students in school and not feeling accepted and really, I would say, prone to suicide. We
mm-hmm.
went through some things that she talked about, and it took me back to growing up. And when I said, okay, is this how you feel because these people don't include you in their circle?
Mm-hmm.
And they purposely make you feel excluded, whatever they're doing.
Right,
And
right.
I went back to high school and remember that at a certain part of town, they call you across the tracks.
Yes.
And if
Yeah.
you live across the tracks,
Very
you
true.
were not in the in crowd.
That's right.
And we lived across the tracks.
Right. It's kind of like on Mean Girls when she said, "You can't sit with us."
Yes,
You
it
couldn't
was
sit with them.
exactly like that. Except today, it is more open
Yeah.
than it was when we were going to school.
Right.
They just had their clicks and they would just go away from you and talk.
Right.
Today, they just tell you,
In
you
your
can't do
face.
this
Right.
in your face.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we had good conversations and a number of sessions, and her life really monumentally changed.
That
She
is
became,
absolutely.
I
So
was going to say,
she became what?
a singer. She's a singer. She's a young lady who sings, and she sings with her dad. She's from the islands. So
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Well, now that's beautiful because you know what? If she had not gotten over that hurdle, she may not have gone out and done that thing. So that is, hey, pat yourself on the back for that. That's really awesome. So I know that you have children. What did you do as they were growing up to help them to build their own self-esteem?
Oh, that's interesting because both of my children were born with special needs.
Okay.
And my son has oh, hearing impairment, and he had spinal meningitis, and he had seizures.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter has infantile paralysis, which is left hemic paralysis. So the left side of her body didn't function as normal.
Okay.
Um, I was divorced when they were 5
Mm-hmm.
and 3. So basically, I raised them.
Yes.
And it was them that made me get over my self-esteem issue. Because
Wonderful.
I remember coming home from work and crying and saying, if I don't make it, they don't make it. And what I did for me was create a tape of who I am. So every day driving to work, I listened to my then tape, and on the way home, I'd listen to it again.
Mm-hmm.
So for them, I had to fight in school because people would continue to tell me what they could not do. And I remember telling the teachers and the counselors, you can't tell me what they can't do because my
Exactly.
God is bigger than what you say.
Right.
And to that end, my son has a double degree from the University of Houston at Victoria. My daughter has an associate's degree from Wharton County Junior College. And both of them are, I would say, independent. My son is married. My daughter is not yet, but you know, we're hopeful for that.
But she's a teacher, so she's out there doing her thing.
She works within the school system. She's not a teacher. She is a teacher's assistant.
Oh, sorry.
To be specific. Yeah. And she works with special needs children herself. And that has changed her life because she understands.
So they went through the whole process with you then.
They did.
That's good, because as you're building yourself, you're showing them, you're being kind of like the model. This is how you do it.
This is how you do it. You don't let hard things stop you.
Right. And
you don't let anybody tell you who you are but you. Yeah. Because people will consistently tell you what you can and cannot do. And if you believe them,
single
then
day,
you will be limited.
Yeah. Well, I love what you said about the crying part. And the reason I say that is because I just had somebody ask me a month ago, how in the world did you get over 18,000 people on Instagram and almost 3,000 people following y'all on YouTube? And I said, blood, sweat, and tears. And they looked and I say, they don't understand. You do go through the blood, sweat, and tears, and a lot of tears. And it's not like crying is a bad thing. Crying can be happy tears. Crying can be, I finally made that happen tears. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. But that person looked at me like, what do you mean blood, sweat, and tears? Blood as in you got to pay a lot of money. You got to pay a lot of money. The sweat is you're nervous because you don't know if it's going to turn out the way you want it. And the tears, it could be happy tears. It could be, I finally made it happen tears. It could be all kinds of tears. So I love that phrase, blood, sweat, and tears, because it's like people only know who've gone through it. Like you've gone through the building your own self-esteem. So you know what it took to get you to where you needed to be successful in your life. Now, look,
yes,
I feel like it's a beautiful thing that you've written 7 books. I'm a book lover, so I get a little more excited maybe than most. So when I meet other authors who have written books and, you know, we're just regular citizens doing our thing and being a rock star in the field of what we do. We don't have to be on the map of where people think we should be or what people say we should be. We can be a success in the arena of what we're doing. I want to know about these 7 books. Now, one of them I want to share on the screen because I just thought this was so well put together. And then you're going to talk about some of the other ones. So this particular one is one of the ones that I just kind of wanted to show them. The reason I wanted to show this book, Mrs. Estelle, is because I just think it's put together so nice. It's beautiful. It's eye-catching. The colors are popping. I love how you did the yellow, the orange, the red with the cross. So let's talk about the 7 books.
Okay. All right. Well, we can talk about this one first, the cross book. Okay. It is a journal, and it's all about the things that we go through, that we hold on to, that are stopping us from moving ahead. There are 64 crosses in this book. Each one has its own scriptural verse at the bottom, and it allows us to write down that thing, whatever that thing may be. And actually verbalize it, because often we don't really verbalize what's going on the inside of us. We try to push it away. We try to act like it doesn't exist. And there's a book called, this is not my book, but it's somebody's book that's really impacted me, because I'm a book person too. Now that you mention it, I have a bookshelf of books. Yes. And I love old books. This one is called Feelings Buried Alive, Never Die. And that says whenever we push something down, at the most inconvenient time, it shows up again. We could be in the middle of, and we don't even know what triggers it, but things do trigger it. So this cross journal lets you write down that thing about that relationship that hurt you, about that parent that said something, about that child that has caused you to cry, about that work environment where you were overlooked and not promoted when you should have been. And it allows you to write it and then be able to give it away to the one who can handle it and be able to be free.
Absolutely. I love that.
And that's that book. Now I have in my hand my book. Can we see it? That is called Faith Walk, Faith Talk, Overcoming Low Self-Esteem. This was one of the first books that I wrote. And this was the one that helped me, because as I journaled me, it allowed me to share the importance what words are. Words are containers, and they carry a punch when they're given. They can be the punch that makes us smile. They could be the punch that makes us cry. They could be the punch that makes us moan. But that is the important thing. And so we can overcome low self-esteem by going. The book has at the back of the book, it gives us some things that we can do, including I'm responsible.
Solutions. I like that. Solutions.
I believe in myself.
Yeah.
I like myself. Because a lot of people don't.
A lot of people don't like themselves or love themselves.
That's right. I am free from the burden of my past. Now that is a big way to be free from. And because Jesus died for me, all of this stuff I can do.
Exactly.
So with going without saying, I am a committed Christian, not a Christian on paper, but committed. And that's in the way that I live and how I act. And it is my desire of how I treat people. Absolutely. Because I understand the law of reciprocity. And that even though I may have been damaged with self-esteem issues, I don't have to stay there. I don't have to live there. And neither does anybody else.
Absolutely. Now, Miss Estelle, are you born and raised in the Texas area?
I am born and raised in a small town in Texas, about 60 miles from Houston.
Okay, what town is that?
That if I told you, you would say, "Oh, it's Wharton."
Oh, yeah. I know where that is. Okay, cool. Awesome. Wharton, Texas. I used to do seminars out there. Okay, what's the next book?
Okay, you have got me. There's one called Overcoming Negative Beliefs.
Ooh.
Okay. Ooh. And it's a journal, and it asks questions of you about, okay, what do you think about love? What do you think about money? What do you think about rich people? What do you think about poor people? What do you think about Black people? So when we have these beliefs that we don't even know they're our core beliefs, they are causing us to make decisions, because we make decisions from our subconscious, not our conscious. And if we don't know what our core beliefs are, then we think men are horrible. And because we think men are horrible, anytime if we're dating and it's a good person, we get rid of them because we think they're horrible. We make them horrible.
Like too good to be true type of thing. Yeah.
That's correct.
I've heard women say, yeah, it's too good to be true because, the last person I was with, I trusted and then it went this way or it went that way. So this one can't be the real deal. And they sabotage themselves.
Absolutely. There's self-sabotage. And a person doesn't even know that they're doing it. So when you look at your core beliefs, then you are able to, if you write them down, because Chuck Swindoll said, thoughts disentangle themselves over the lips and through the fingertips. So when we write and not type, there's a difference between writing and typing. When you write, there's a different energy between your brain and hand than when your fingers are.
People still laugh at me because I write everything out. And then I type it last because that's the way I've always written books and notes and everything. I don't sit and type notes. I write everything out. Even the things that I wanted to talk with you today, I literally wrote them out because that works for me.
Well, it is something that God gave us that is intrinsic in us. If we utilize that task, it helps our brain function longer, long term. And that's important. Longer, long term.
I like that.
Just by writing. I
like that a lot. So it's 2022. We just got over the last 2 years of pretty much volunteer lockdown. And what has changed in your business where you're, doing your coaching, and like, how has it changed your business? The way you do it, the way you perform, the clients that you have, how you do the service that you do. Has anything changed in your business in the last 2 years since we have gone through a lot?
Well, more than meeting in person. Now I meet over the phone and via the internet.
Yeah.
That's how it's done. And it means that it doesn't matter where in the world you are. You can have that personal time if you're willing to invest that personal time in yourself.
Right, which is good. Okay.
Yeah.
So you went from face-to-face pretty much to digital.
I did digital. I did digital before. I just liked face-to-face.
Yes, me too. The energy is different.
There's something about looking at a person eye to eye and the palpatableness of their energy when you're in their presence.
It's a for sure energy transfer,
Different
for
than
sure.
when you're over the internet. Because even now we can have some semblance of energy, but it's totally different when you're in the same place.
Wow. So tell me, what's a day like for us, Mrs. Estelle? What's a day like when you're in your zone? I like to call it your zone when you're doing what you're doing on purpose. What's a day like for you?
Um, I see my daughter off to work
Awesome.
and make sure that I tell her that she's loved and that I'm very proud of her.
Oh, self-esteem building from the moment you wake up. Okay. Oh, she's living her truth for real. Okay.
And then I start my day, and it's generally going to be some educational stuff on the internet.
Yes.
I have a lot of classes that I take,
Okay.
and or a lot of people that I listen to that are also continuing to motivate me, because I think no coach should not have a coach.
Oh, absolutely.
So from
And
that vantage
no
point,
mentor should not have a mentor, because we all need those things in our lives. You are
yes,
so right on that.
yeah. So I go through that. I go through the process, and deal with my accountability partner so that I am being accountable, because
Absolutely.
any of us at any time could forget, and it's too easy to forget.
It
And
is.
then I spend some time thinking, because when I do that, that's how a number of my recent books have come up. They've just been downloads. That's the best way to put it. They've been a download. And the whole book in one day, that has been something else. Um, and then for me, the evening time is my quiet time.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
After dinner, it's quiet time to just, I think, get down.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the way to put it. So that then I have some rest.
Okay.
But my day from, I would say, 6:45 or thereabouts
Mm-hmm.
till maybe 11
Mm-hmm.
is full, 7 days a week.
That's awesome. So now, Mrs. Stell, I got to bring it back to the top of where we started. Are you getting your water during the day?
I am, as a matter of fact,
Oh, I had to throw that in there.
not just about the books, and not just about the coaching, and not just about that,
Yeah.
but things that I've been interested in all my life has been health and health
Oh,
related, and
okay.
it started because of my children and their challenges.
Yes.
I studied homeopathic medicine. I
Yes.
studied
Yes. Naturopath.
just all of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And so drinking water, I know, is essential for electronic transmission in the body.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
and so that helps you think better.
Mm-hmm.
That helps everything else move better.
That's right.
So yes, I get my water, and everybody I talk to them saying, how much water are you drinking? When my daughter comes home, how much water have you had today?
No, it's very important. I have a friend, she started dating a guy, and I said, what was the moment when you knew that she was the one? He said she would call me every day and ask me what I had to eat and if I was drinking water. He said I never dated anyone who cared about that. He said I never had a woman ask me, did I eat today and did I drink my water? And he said it was as a result of that he started drinking a gallon of water a day, and it has really helped him. So I say it laughing, but I'm so serious about it, because for somebody to catch your attention simply because they care about you and how you feel and how you're
Mhm.
treating yourself, it's really, really important. I mean, like, for real, it's important.
Well, just a little pin about that. Uh, it is recommended that we drink half our body weight in ounces of water a
Yes.
day.
Yes,
So you weigh 100 pounds, drink yourself 50 ounces.
exactly. 50, yeah, because 64 is a gallon. So yeah, that's about right. And I always say, if you feel like water's too plain for you, you can always infuse the water, because I infuse my water with fruit. I put limes in my water. I put lemons in it. You can always kind of zhuzh it up a little bit in case you get
That's true.
bored after a while. You can add a little flavor to it without the sugar and all that other stuff. Just the infusing it with fruit really works, because I have infused water every day. Like yesterday I did grapefruit. Today I'm doing mango.
Yeah, well, I mean, don't forget your cucumber, and
Oh
don't
no,
forget your
I
peach.
love cucumbers. Most people I talk to, they always tell me they don't like cucumbers. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Absolutely.
What is
Hey,
wrong with you?
it give you a lot of nutrients. It's just the
It
things they're going to give.
does.
It's going to add to it and give you some nutrients too in the process. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I love that when you're coaching your clients that you literally talk to them about that because it helps them to be even better, a better client even for you if they're ready and they're, electricity in them is ready and all of that great stuff. It's really, really good. So before we go, Estelle, I want you to let everyone know where they can find you online, how they can contact you, if it's by email or social media, so that they can reach out to you. Because see, here's the thing I do know. Our podcast goes out to women, mothers and daughters, women. And there are a lot of women who want to connect with other women that can help them to be that next better person if they're continuously working on themselves. So I think with them connecting with you would probably be a great idea. So let them know where they can find you. And then it's also going to be down in the description. Sometimes people read the description, sometimes they don't. But I always make sure I put it in there just so if they want to find you 3 months from now, it's in the description.
Well, I will tell you that they can reach me via email,
Okay.
and it's going to be AGI Apple Pear, I guess, Inc. at Comcast.net.
Okay.
And that's going to be the direct one, the direct contact for me.
Wonderful.
I know that by the time this is airing, I will have a website up,
Okay.
and that is something. It's going to be. I don't know what the name is going to be yet,
Okay.
but
No
I will
problem.
have it up, and I
And
will let you know.
And just for clarification, you take clients all over the globe, not just people in Texas or anything, but all over the globe. You can do international.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. I think that's
Zoom,
important.
Zoom can go international.
Well, I know, but some people, because of the time zone differences, they'll think that you can't. Because I had a person reach out to me from the UK, and she was letting me know that her time zone was a whole nother day from me. And I said, I'm flexible. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't work a 9 to 5 job. I work and complement the time that I need to for my clients. So that's why I asked that question, because some people will think because they're on a different time zone that maybe someone in America wouldn't want to take them as a client. But I'm always ready to tell them, oh no, if that person is willing to put a schedule together for you, the time doesn't really matter.
That is correct.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
time doesn't really matter. It
The
doesn't
time
matter what
doesn't
day
really
it
matter.
is.
Exactly. It doesn't.
Yeah.
That's why I asked that question, because you will get people from different places wanting to reach out to you. Because I know we have several people in the UK that listen to the show. As a matter of fact, when my daughter and I put our book up on Amazon, 100 Ways to Connect with Mothers and Daughters, we have some people on the British side of Canada that are purchasing the book, but then also in London. So I know people are listening from other countries. So I wanted to clarify that so that if they do reach out to you, you wouldn't be shocked, like, oh my gosh, they're way in the UK. That's a whole nother day from now. But it works
No,
out.
that's fine. That's
So,
fine.
so what would be your parting message that you would leave for the mothers and daughters that you could give them as a little nugget of encouragement?
Okay. I would say that think about how you treat other people
Mm,
and be gracious to them, because years are long, but life is short.
absolutely.
And being able to enjoy each day
Hmm.
is something that only you can do. You don't let anybody else control you with that. You
Right,
don't let anybody else tell you how happy you can be,
right,
what you can do.
right.
You choose it. And when you choose it, then you choose it.
That's right.
And it makes you you.
Absolutely. I love that, Mrs. Dale. Thank you so much for being my guest today. And hey, mothers and daughters, look down in the description so that you can see where you can purchase her books, but also how you can reach out to her. And by the time you hear me say this, she's going to have a website up. So she'll have her www dot whatever she's going to call it down there, so that you guys could probably go to her website and maybe make an appointment or something for an initial consultation. But thank you for listening to the show today. And please remember to hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the little notification so you know when shows are going up. But then also join us over on Instagram, because we're having a great time over there. All 18,000.9 of you over there. And we post about 3 to 7 times a day. Always going to be informational, going to be fun, going to be, something that's going to encourage you. And that is Mother Daughter Ish with an underscore. Thanks for listening to our show today. Thank you, Mrs. Thale.
Thank you, Don.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, it's Miss Dawn. You wondering how you can support our show, Mother Daughter-ish? We have Cash App, we have PayPal, and we do have Vimeo. Support our show so that we can reach out to more women. Our goal is to reach and build a community of 1 million women. Why don't you come on and help us do that?